Hello, everyone. This is Still Rose's podcast. This podcast was created for women by women to elevate women's voices. Happy Monday, everybody. And you might be able to hear it in my voice that I'm a little tired. I took last week off unintentionally, but then it just happened, from podcasting. I had half the week off from my daytime job, to celebrate my husband's birthday. And it was really, really great, much needed time off to reset. Um, but just really busy. Uh, I like to, make sure that everyone feels really loved and appreciated like at all times. And this is, was a big birthday. And so it was just a lot of running around, but it was well worth it and a really, really wonderful, wonderful weekend with my family, with my kids, with all five of them, all the grandkids. So it was really, really lovely. But I'm just tired now. So much so that I almost talked myself out of recording, but I wanted to get back in the swing of things. I'm super, super pumped for the upcoming episodes that are going to be live streaming. Um, these guests that are going to be coming onto the show. Now, some of them had reached out to me months ago and were gracious enough to accept that I kind of went off the grid for a little while I was figuring things out for myself and for the podcast. And so they're coming around. And I have some guests lining up in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited about that. I do want to remind everyone that the upcoming episodes, I'm going to post a schedule um, on social just so everyone can see when the lives are happening and who's going to be speaking. Um, so you can, know when to join. So I'm like really looking forward to this. It's going to be really good. And the energy on some of these women is electric. There is no other way to say it. So just a couple thought starters for everybody. Well, one, anyone in their early 40s, likely you're already here along with me experiencing perimenopause. Benefit pro, right? Your cycles get shorter. That's the only benefit, right? Mine is at like 3 days at this point. Benefit, great. It's awesome. But it's also like unpredictable in some ways. Like I'll think it's over and it's done. And then all of a sudden it'll pop back up and be like, I'm not done, I'm still here, which is really annoying. Um, Outside of that, you guys have heard me talk about the fatigue before. You've heard me talk about the emotional ups and downs. Saturday was like my day two. And I went from like enraged lunatic to like sobbing within like 30 seconds a few times. I hate it. I hate not being able to control that as much as I want to. But on that same token, you know that we're not able to control everything, right? It's not in us. It's not really meant to be that way. We're not supposed to be controlling everything. Sometimes you have to lean into, I can't control this. It's just happening. Um, I'm doing everything I can, eating wise and health wise to like maintain my hormone levels. But things happen, right? So, the only way that I've been able to like really survive and kind of um, I apologize for the yawn. I already admitted I'm tired. I, um, I try to make light of it, but also call attention to it because I don't want my family to think I'm nuts. And I just openly admit it. And I tell them, I'm like, it's like crazy. I don't know what to do because I go 1 minute, my kids were using my cell phone and it died, and we were leaving the house and it was a dead phone, and I was really upset about that. And I was felt the rage like bubbling up in my throat. And I'm not even kidding, within 5 minutes, I went from enraged to like ready to cry, like burst into tears. It was just one of those weekends where I'm like, my hormones were all over the place. Something I did to try to help, something I always do in my cycles now, I make carrot juice. And carrots are supposed to be really hormone balancing. Um, so I like load up on carrots now all the time because I'm like, let's see how far we can go. I will let you know. I will report back. A, if it helps, and B, if my skin turns orange, because I have heard that. In any case, I have a couple thought starters. I just want to share the perimenopause stuff because we're all going through it. I just have to say it, and it's important to acknowledge it. And do what you can to research, do what you can to help yourself. But if you're not feeling great, guess what? Like that's all of us, and you're not alone in this. And you could find refuge in another woman, another person to talk to you about it, but also do something to advocate for yourself. You don't have to feel crappy all the time. I don't have to feel crappy all the time. Like, let's try to do something to help ourselves. Um, but you just have days, right? It is what it is. You kind of just have to roll with the punches. So I'm here and you can always message me. I'm always up for venting about this kind of stuff because it's miserable and I hate it. And I'm sure you all hate it too. Okay, on to the thought starters. So, the first one I'm going to read over to you is something that I've talked about quite a bit in relation to like how I do things and things that have enlightened me over the past couple of years. One thing that I think I have talked about before is that I am not on social media personally. I'm just not. In the beginning, that really wasn't something that like I was making a conscious choice to do. I just shied away from it. I was focusing on my relationship, then I had kids and I was whatever. Like I didn't go all the way back into it as much as I did when I was young and before I, got married and everything. Flash forward several years, I'm still not engaged in it really outside of LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is my platform. You'll see it. You can look across all my socials and LinkedIn you can tell is the one that I favor. Um, and outside of LinkedIn, the other ones are just my podcast socials. And I just do that really to keep people updated on the podcast episodes. So there is no like me scrolling through social all the time. Pinterest is a place where you will hear me talk about it quite a bit, that I get my thought starters from there. But that's it. That's the only one that I really look at. That's when I'm being a vegetable at the end of the night. It's Pinterest. I scroll through Pinterest. Um, it soothes me. It's mindless. I kind of like it. And then on the flip, I'll read books sometimes at night, like romance novels, that kind of thing. Anyway, the point with this ramble is that sometimes in my head, I have an internal debate on, is this good or is this bad? Is it good that I'm not on social media in the sense that I have a peace of mind that I don't think a lot of people have at this point? But is it bad because I'm not on social media and thus am not in the loop? But then do I want to be in the loop? Like, this is the conversation that I have in my head consistently. So I saw this post. This post is in relation to the amount of not just social media, but the amount of media consumption we have on any given day. So the post reads, we have normalized overconsumption. Listening to a podcast while we walk, scrolling reels in the toilet, listening to music while we cook, watching a show on Netflix while we eat. It's as if there is no breathing space for your mind. You're constantly trying to fill the void, the stillness, and yet here you're complaining about feeling groggy and demotivated. I've talked quite a bit about meditating and how that's impacted my life and how that's really benefited me as a human being. It's benefited me like 10 times over. And part of that is being silent with yourself. A lot of people can't do it. A lot, and by can't I mean like they're scared to do it. There's a lot of people, and I think my husband even, like, to just be still. Just sit and be still. When I'm sitting still, when I'm meditating, I can tell everyone I'm meditating. They're like, oh, she's meditating, she's doing something. But if I'm just sitting still, I can tell it makes my family uncomfortable. Like, they don't know what to do. And they're like, well, what are you doing? Like, oh, and they will try to start throwing stuff at me. And I'm like, I'm just sitting. Like, I'm taking a minute here. Like, let me just be. This overconsumption of constant like flood of everything all day long is creating this really massive disruption in our energy fields. And I think it's really interesting to really look at the history and the trajectory of how things have declined so much as a society, while the consumption of media has increased so much as a society. And that would be a very interesting thing to track and gauge. And I'm sure someone is doing a study right in this moment trying to figure that out, because there is a massive imbalance in our world today with many, many people. And when you are sucked into your phone, I bet you if you look at the screen time like data on your phone, and you'll see like how much time you're spending on each app or how much screen time you get a week or a day or whatever, like I feel like that's not taken as seriously. I mean, there are legitimate studies that show the effects of social media on children's development and brains and how detrimental it is to them. So much so that it's recommended that they don't use VR, social media, anything, screen time, anything before like X age. Now, I can't say that I did that. My kids absolutely use tablets and things like that. They're not on social media, but they will watch YouTube. They'll watch their little shows and stuff. Yes, 100%. I can't say that I'm not doing that. I am doing that. We do force breaks. We do limit the time. We do what we can in our power. But I am not the mom that has not done screen time. Like I absolutely do it. The the downfall there is I can actually see what it does to them. And because of that is why I will make sure like I'm disengaging them from there and I'm teaching them like games that I grew up with and stuff. So there is an impact there that's bad. And you've heard me talk so much about disconnecting, and you've heard me talk a lot about meditating and being silent and listening and reconnecting with the universe. This is all massively important. It's so important. And if you can't get yourself disconnected, there's a bigger problem at play here. So I just want to encourage everyone listening to this episode. It's a brief episode. I appreciate you all listening, but I also really want to encourage you guys, when you're walking or when you're doing something, like it's okay to be silent and still. It's okay to take a walk and just listen to the world around you. It's okay to just take 5 minutes and sit in silence somewhere. Just take a couple of breaths and be with yourself. I mean, I'm sure that there's someone listening now that could probably look back on their last month and think to themselves, like, I haven't been silent at all. Like there's been constant. There's music playing while you're in the bathroom. There's, videos playing while you cook. There's like, and I'm a podcaster. Clearly, like there's podcasts playing in the background. Like it is what it is. You have to take a moment to disconnect. I can't. I don't even care if it's like my show you're disconnecting from. Disconnect. It's going to help you. Like it's going to do something for you if you take some time out of your day every day to sit silently. So I'm going to leave you with that thought there. Finding time in your day. School starting soon, guys, and if it hasn't already started in your area, that right there is going to give you some some silence. Especially if you work from home like me, you'll have a little bit of a silence there. So I just want to leave you with that thought. I really want you guys to think about this overconsumption, this life that now we all live, and how much it has shifted for you, and what your life it looks like right now. And is this the life that you want to be living? What can you do now? And I can guarantee you meditating is going to be part of that answer. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Please feel free to reach out to me with like feedback. I love it. I think I talked a couple of times about some feedback that I had received and I actually took it and ran with it. So I really, really appreciate you guys messaging me and letting me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.